Hey everyone, this is Joe from Gentleman Stationer. Welcome back and have kind of a fun video for everyone today because we got our hands on the new Uni Zentos, which are the latest release from Uniball. As you're all probably aware, Uni regularly releases new gel ink formulations. You may remember from a couple years ago, you have the Uniball One or the Uni One. Which is the ink that they had formulated to be really dark and really smooth. And, honestly, they did a pretty good job with it. It writes a really glossy black line. It's relatively smooth as far as everyday gel pens go, and it's relatively inexpensive. The Zento kind of came out of nowhere. I had not heard about it until I had seen it announced. You'll notice that we do not have the signature model, which is the capped version that's sold out everywhere. People have been unable to get a hold of it and it's commanding, really ridiculous prices on the secondary market. But we do have the standard Zento, which you'll see strongly resembles the one, except this is a matte, kind of a soft feel barrel. It's also significantly lighter than the one, which is solid plastic. And it's got a somewhat different clip. It's that same wire design, but the Zento seems to be a little bit more solid. Anyway, they're very similar pens on the whole. I mean, I think there's probably some slight difference in comfort. I personally find the feel of the Zento, the standard, to be a little bit more comfortable, just because I think the barrel tapers more towards the grip. But you also have what is the Zento, what's called the Zento Flow, which is an upgraded barrel version with a metal barrel and then kind of the plastic upper part, which gives it kind of a nicer, maybe some would say a little bit more professional or flashier look if you want to take this pen into a meeting or, just have something a little bit nicer than, your standard gel pen. So I'll do a little bit of a writing sample with it. The Zento, Uni's been a little bit convoluted in terms of how they've explained what the difference is between, the Zento ink as opposed to the One ink. They said that this one is supposed to be low friction, which I take to mean it's a smooth writer. It's designed to be a smooth writer. The ink has been formulated to not feather or bleed as much as the one. I think that may have been an issue that many people had complained about with the one. I had never really had that issue with it, but I will confirm that the Zento does not feather or bleed on anything, and I'll do a writing sample here in a minute. So what I have noticed with the Zento is that whereas the one, you'll see here, has that real kind of dark, shiny black ink on the writing sample. The Zento, and I don't know if this is going to show up in the writing with this light here, but the Zento has more of a matte texture to it. Yeah, and you can kind of see it. So the one, they're both dark, but the one has almost a glossy, wet look to it. The Zento ink has a kind of a flat effect to it. I'd compare the difference if you're speaking in terms of fountain pen ink to the difference between, say Aurora Black, which would be closer to the top, and, something like a Platinum Carbon Black or a Sailor Kiwaguro pigmented ink, which is going to dry kind of the same flat look. As you'll see, I mean, both of these dry nearly instantly. So there's not too much to worry about in terms of smearing. The good thing is the Zento, most of the pens ship with a standard black ink cartridge. We do have, and you can get 0.38 and 0.5 in both blue and red as well as a separate refill. And the other thing to keep in mind is that if you find, say, for example, you do not like the soft texture of the Zento standard, these are indeed the same refill shape. It's just your standard Uniball gel refill. I have swapped a one refill into a Zento. I've swapped a Zento refill into a one barrel, and they both do fit. So if you prefer this kind of harder, little bit thicker plastic of the Uni One over the Zento, you can use a Zento refill in this pen. So we have a fairly good stock of Zentos in the shop right now. The Flow, which is the metal barrel, is priced at around $11. That's, kind of the current price based on the exchange rate and tariff. Seems to be the going rate across the internet. And we are selling the standard for $3, which is around the same as the One, maybe even a little cheaper than the One. So, I mean, these pens are, these are solid gel pens. I've really enjoyed writing with them. The Zento feels like it has, whatever it is, the Zento, whether it's how the barrel is designed or whether it's something with the refill, the description that they use, that this ink feels like it has cushion to it when you're writing. There really is something to that. I mean, it's a super smooth writer, and I find it very comfortable, especially on more absorbent paper. So this is Natsu paper, dot grid. And the Zento definitely has a kind of a more tactile feel to it than kind of your typical slippery kind of wet gel pen. Look, I've enjoyed it. Is it worth as much hype as it's been getting online? I know that there's a big, I don't know if you say controversy, but the Zento Signature, which is the capped model, retails, I believe, for around $30-something, and I've been seeing secondary market prices anywhere up to $100 for that pen. I think that's ridiculous. It's not worth that. This is a good gel pen. There's nothing incredibly earth-shattering or revolutionary about it. It's just a really good gel refill. So check it out. Don't go crazy on the secondary. The demand will cool down, and we'll eventually have the Signature as well if Uni decides to keep making it. So look for that in the future, but in the meantime, feel free to enjoy these as well. I can vouch for them. Really like the Zento, and I'm glad to have it as one of our offerings in the shop.